Ah, the 2000s, so much nostalgia. It's almost like that's when I grew up or something. For anyone that doesn't know, I'm currently 22 years old, so yeah, a lot of 2000s show I carry a lot of nostalgia and some sort of attachment for. So this is a bracket of 64 shows, most of which I've seen, some I have not, some I haven't even heard of. I've already kind of looked through this, but most of them I do really love. There's some DC shows in there, so I think it warrants me making this video. Also, I know a lot of my audience is around my age, so this should be fun for all of us, hopefully. First matchup is SpongeBob versus Camp Lazlo. Camp Lazlo was such a weird show. But SpongeBob is a classic. You know it's gotta go over Camp Lazlo, but I do remember some things about the show. Not a ton, but enough. It was a very odd show. Now, these are two shows that I didn't really see much of, but if memory serves correctly, I think Even Stevens is the more iconic show. I've seen a little of both of them, not enough to remember anything. And these are both shows I've never really seen. I saw parts of this. I don't even know what this is. I apologize for any Chalk Zone fans out there. This first round's probably going to go by pretty fast. Oh, this is a matchup. Now, the Proud Family, dude, I remember the Proud Family movie, and that stuff was freaky to me when I was 5 years old. I don't know why, but they, went to Hawaii, and the villain of the movie was just really creepy, and he gave me, just uneasy vibes. Samurai Jack is just cooler, right? It's just cooler than the Proud Family, bro, Samurai Jack is a badass. Kim Possible was the shit. Shigo was probably my first crush. I know a lot of people say that. A lot of red-blooded males say that, but it's the truth, okay? And Kim Possible was really good. It was like John DiMaggio was doing the Joker before he got cast as the Joker in Batman Under the Red Hood. And I could spend forever talking about how great Kim Possible is. 16, however, was just kind of a fun show, and I think it's kind of just a lesser version of Total Drama, if I'm being honest. I think it's from the same creator, so it kind of makes sense. It was still really good, don't get me wrong, but Kim Possible. Ben 10 Wizards. This is too easy of a choice for me, probably, but I'm going Wizards of Waverly Place. I mean, Selena Gomez in that show? Come on, man. No, I'm just it was actually a really good show, and I don't know, I found it very fascinating. I liked all the different kind of arcs they did. I remember, the 4-part vampire episodes and them going to Transylvania and stuff. I remember the movie that was basically Avatar: The Last Airbender. I didn't watch The Replacements. I don't even really know what that is, so by default, that's where Raven wins. She can see into the future, y'all. Codename Kids Next Door. Who was your favorite Kid Next Door? Comment down below, or don't. But mine was probably number 4, which I don't know what that says about me. Invader Zim. And Invader Zim is just such a classic compared to Sunny with the Chance. And no competition there, really. Oh my god, everyone watching already knows my option, but Danny Phantom. I've got to give a shout out to Danny Phantom. That show was freaking good. The theme song kicks ass, but the Batman's theme song and the show just kicks a little more ass than Danny Phantom. I'm sorry. And I also watched the Batman a month ago, so there's quite the advantage there. Dexter's Laboratory. I'm sorry if I just disrespected Lilo and Stitch for some people, but Dexter's Laboratory just slaughters Lilo and Stitch in every possible way. The spin-off Avengers on that show, I remember, Dee Dee, why were her legs so long? I don't even know. Never seeing the parents' faces, I kind of like that decision. You would see a side shot of the mom every now and then. I don't know why that was a thing with shows back in the day, but I low-key miss it. I wonder if they ever brought that back. They should if they haven't. Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. I don't even know what Unfabulous is, really. I've heard of it. I know it was on when I was growing up, but never watched it. Same with Rocket Power. I don't even know what Rocket Power is. How is Courage the Cowardly Dog a kid show? That's the better question here. That show is terrifying. It should have... I don't know how it got past the censors. This is the beauty of the 2000s, the beauty of the 90s. You could get anything past the censors back in the day, it seems, because Courage the Cowardly Dog is a horror show, okay? It is... Don't look too deep into that show, because you'll never be the same. Hannah Montana and Batman the Brave and the Bold. This is... may be a shock to some people, but this is a harder decision than it may appear. Of course I'm picking Batman the Brave and the Bold, but Hannah Montana was really good. Ed, and Eddy. Easily. Okay. This is how this bracket is formatted for some reason. So, I guess we're just doing this side first, and then it'll jump over to this side. I see the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy right there. I'm getting tongue-tied like a motherfucker for some reason, but this show, we'll get to it. It was the shit, okay? SpongeBob. No competition. Samurai Jack, I didn't watch much of either of these, if I'm being completely honest. But Samurai Jack is just way more badass than Jake Long. Like, come on. No disrespect. See, Wizards, what did it be last time? Ben 10, I'm sorry for all the Ben 10 fans out there. I'm probably showing so much disrespect to your show. I did enjoy the original Ben 10. It's the only Ben 10 I've seen. I really did like it. I just really watched more of Wizards, and I don't know, I like that show more, and Kim Possible, I like it way more than Wizards, so... That was a long-winded way of saying that, hey guys, I'm not that big of a fan of Ben 10, but if you are, you're awesome still, so please don't kill me in the comments. That's So Raven versus Codename Kids Next Door. It's gotta be Codename, right? Like, I don't know. Codename Kids Next Door is just something else. I don't think we've seen a show like it since. Invader Zim versus Zoey 101. See, Invader Zim is pretty iconic, I feel, but, like, Zoey 101, that show was so good. It was so much better than it had any right to being. I still remember the episode that, like, the time travel episode, and it just had my mind whirling as a kid. The Batman versus Dexter's Laboratory. This is where I'm going to let my Batman buy a show. And look, I just think the storytelling in the Batman is better than Dexter's Laboratory, and I know storytelling isn't the main goal of Dexter, but look, this is my opinions, okay? Oh my god, Courage the Cowardly Dog, I'm sorry that you gotta leave this early, but The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. I love The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. That is, like, probably my favorite Disney show. Which I may be showing my cards early. I should shut up. Batman the Brave and the Bold versus Ed, and Eddy. Okay, guys. I'm sorry. I apologize. Whatever show I just eliminated, I said it was Dexter. I eliminated because I was like, the Batman storytelling is better. Look, Brave and the Bold storytelling is better than Ed, and Eddy's, but Ed, and Eddy is just a classic. Me growing up in the 2000s, Ed, and Eddy is a classic, okay? Batman the Brave and the Bold, this would be different if it was my favorite Batman show. But it's not. I like Batman the Animated Series, and I like the Batman more, so the Batman is still in this, so I'm going to give it to Ed, and Eddy, just so we have more diversity in here. And I'm not letting my Batman bias overrule too much of this. Now, SpongeBob is winning this, because, like I said, I didn't watch much of Samurai Jack. I still remember plenty from SpongeBob. I remember Doodle Bob. I remember the Sea Bear. I remember the small violin. I remember things. I remember that Sandy was from Texas. SpongeBob was amazing, and it is another show that maybe shouldn't be for kids, but look, it hides it better than Courage the Cowardly Dog does. Kim Possible is edging out Codename Kids Next Door for me. They are both great shows, but as I've said along, the storytelling in Kim Possible is just better than Codename Kids Next Door, from what I remember. Zoey 101 versus The Batman. You guys know I have to go The Batman. Zoey 101. really good. It was a really good show. It got you attached to those main characters. It did what these shows needed to do, but the Batman is just, it's Batman. And the Batman was a different take on Batman that I really respect and I really enjoy, so you have to give it props there. And The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody versus Ed, and Eddy. I gotta give it to Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. Look, admittedly so, I said it about Shigo earlier. Ashley Tisdale and The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody was one of my first crushes, so yeah, it carries some nostalgia with me for that, so what? And also, the show's just really fun. I love the episodes where, like, Zack was on road trips with his dad when his dad was making music and stuff. I'm really into music, and I would love to do that, so I'm like, hey, looking back on that, that's kind of funny. And, like, the bowling episodes, I remember Arwen's bowling team. Also, Arwen is a great character, and it's a shame that he didn't return in The Sweet Life on Deck. I'm just putting that out there. Same goes for Maddie. I really like Maddie as a character. Although the camp stuff they did with her in the final season was a bit hit and miss. I really didn't like seeing Maddie get abused as much as she did. I felt so bad. I was like, Maddie, no. Kim Possible is beating SpongeBob. Look, Kim Possible has the better villain, and if you have a villain in the first place, you probably got more of an advantage with me in the first place, because villains are great, and I just think they make the plot better for some reason. I don't know if that makes any sense. Also, SpongeBob is just purely episodic, which you can do that while also having connective tissue, which it probably does, honestly. I just don't remember a ton about SpongeBob because it's been so long since I've seen it. This is gonna be a tough one. I think I am going to have to give this to Sweet Life of Zack and Cody because, look, I said in the beginning this was nostalgia. That's what this bracket's gonna be. It's a nostalgia trip. And I carry so much nostalgia for both these. But I think I carry more for the Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, in all honesty. And for that very same reason, it is also beating Kim Possible, which both of these are great shows. I would put Kim Possible on about the same level as the Batman. Honestly, maybe a little better, because Kim Possible is a very good show, but The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, just pure classic. There aren't very many episodes that are bad. Like, most of those episodes, really enjoyable. And I think they even still hold up, because I watched The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody not that long ago, and I was like, this is still enjoyable, even if it is nostalgia. Like, none of the dialogue is too cringe most of the time. Maybe London's is every now and then. But The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, it looks like it's advancing to the final, so that was the first half of this bracket. Now on to the second. The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy versus All Grown Up. So this is just Grown Up Rugrats, which the classic Rugrats is so much better. We all know this. The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Now this was a show. The episode I remember most from this show, first of all, I remember the movie so well with the boogeyman and stuff. They were on pirate ships, and I liked all the Grimm's nemesis in this show. They made this show for me, like Nurgle, I think that was his name, or Nurgle. I know how you spell it. I forgot how you say it. Nigel? No, it's Nigel, I think. I don't even know. I also remember the episode with the old dude that was, like, still muscular. And it was about eating vegetables, living until you're 108 and still being in top peak shape. And I was like, oh my god, if you eat healthy, you'll live forever? Well, no, you won't. But yeah, they had an Evil Dead episode. That's what I was on before I went so off topic. And basically the brownies brought the dead back to life, and that episode was so awesome. Phil of the Future versus Justice League. This is without question Justice League. This is the definitive version of the Justice League. Like, not the movie, not even the Snyder Cut. The Snyder Cut was great, but the animated show has done it on screen the best. I think most of us would probably agree. Chowder versus Lizzie McGuire. I probably would have never seen Lizzie McGuire if it weren't for my sister. Chowder's a trip, man. Oh my god. That show, I don't know what they were on when they made it, but I love it. Schnitzel, I related to that dude way too much. He didn't even know what he was saying, but I was like, I feel you, man. He was like the Groot of Chowder, basically. Flapjack, the marvelous misadventures of Flapjack. This show was so goddamn weird. They lived in a well stomach. Knuckles, I think that was his name, or Captain Knuckles. It's been so long since I've seen most of these shows. Phineas and Ferb is such a classic, though, at this point. I mean, so much creativity went in the show, a lot of heart went into it. You could tell they really cared. Teen Titans versus a show that I don't know. I've heard of Yin Yang Yo, never seen it. Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide versus A Sweet Life on Deck. Bro, I think I have... I almost want to give it to Ned's Declassified because I already have Zack and Cody in the finals on the other side. And I know that On Deck is not going to make it to the finals versus that. Especially with how much I'm struggling with this round one choice here. But just the crossover episodes of Sweet Life and like the Star Trek episode, they did some really weird stuff. The Snakes on a Boat episode, they did some really weird stuff on Deck. They got super experimental with it, and I respect that. But I also respect Ned's Declassified's simplicity. So this is really a 50-50 shot. It's so hard. And I think I'm going to give it to Ned's Declassified just to show it some love. Because I know On Deck isn't going to go much further. I just hit my mic. The Clone Wars versus whatever the show is I've never heard of. I haven't seen either of these, admittedly so. I'm not a Star Wars guy. I'm sorry for all the Star Wars fans. But I know Darth Maul is in the show, and I've seen The Phantom Menace. Only Star Wars movie I've seen. I've seen most of A New Hope, too. But Darth Maul, my favorite Star Wars character from what I know, so with that, the Clone Wars is going on. I watched some of The Last Airbender, not much. I watched a lot of Cory in the House, but I know The Last Airbender is regarded as a classic. What I did see was pretty cool, so yeah, it's gonna move on. Total Drama Island, pretty easy. That's such a great reality TV show spoof. The characters are actually very investing. Jimmy Neutron voice genius. I don't even know what this is. Drake and Josh versus Johnny Bravo. Can I get a 1, 2, 3?
1, 2, 3. Baby.
Johnny Bravo definitely just exudes a certain energy that is so unique unto itself. But Drake and Josh, it's such a good show. They have an episode with We Will Rock You from Queen. They did parodies of a lot of awesome movies. It was just a lot of fun. iCarly easily beats Totally Spies for me. Powerpuff Girls, I didn't never watch Mighty B. Neither of these I've seen. The Amanda Show edges that out just because I've heard of it. Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. This show, I remember this was one of the first shows that was actually released while I was like actively watching stuff, because this was released in 2004 and I was probably 4 or 5, and I was like, what is this show, bro? It was like some stuff I would draw in my dreams or something. Like Blue was just a freaking, I don't even know what you call that shape. But my point is, the designs were pretty simplistic and I appreciated that. I appreciate how much imagination was used. And looking back, I appreciate how small the budget was because they got very creative. And Coco, she could lay eggs that would do anything. I'm like, bro, what is this show? This show is like an acid trip, and I kind of love it. I don't even know what Cat Scratch is. The Fairly Odd Parents versus The Emperor's New School. The Fairly Odd Parents, man. That show is so depressing when you think about it, but it's so good. I can't believe The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy is getting eliminated this early, because there's no way it's beating Justice League. There's just no possible way. The storytelling in Justice League is elite. It's better than some just shows I've seen. It's almost on the level of like a Breaking Bad when it comes to storytelling, and I'm not even exaggerating that. They really knew what they were doing. they really wrote these characters right. It's fantastic. Phineas and Ferb versus Chowder. Both very enjoyable shows. God, Candace was such a stuck-up, the word. Chowder was Chowder. That's all I can say about the show, man. Truffles was an interesting character along with Schnitzel. I forgot what the cook's name even was. I can hear his voice distinctively in my head, though. I think the voice cast for Chowder was incredible. Phineas and Ferb was too, though. I remember a lot of those voices. With Phineas and Ferb, it was also always like, if you weren't into the main plot, the side plot with Perry was always interesting, or vice versa. So, like, there was always something you were into with Phineas and Ferb, so there's an advantage there, along with just it being so iconic. Teen Titans versus Ned's Declassified. Now, this could have been The Sweet Life on Deck, and either way, Teen Titans would have won, because Teen Titans is special, the animation being more anime-like because it was animated in Japan. The Japanese theme song is so kick-ass, the regular theme song is too. One of the greatest theme songs of any of these. Ned's Declassified, I don't even remember the theme song, honestly, actually. I think it was good. The Clone Wars versus Avatar: The Last Airbender. Now, either way, I feel like people are going to be mad at me, but I've seen a little bit of The Last Airbender. I've seen none of the Clone Wars, so by default, I gotta go Last Airbender. I'm gonna probably get comments that being like, bro, Clone Wars should have won this, or Last Airbender should have won this. How have you not seen any of them? And I'm just gonna be like, I don't know. I just never saw them. I apologize. But not really. Total Drama Island versus Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius. I gotta go Total Drama Island. Total Drama, I can't even say that it was super original because it is just a Survivor spoof basically, but the character work in that show was really interesting to me, and I was actively into the plot. All the competitions were pretty creative. I was attached to the characters to the point that I didn't want my favorites to get eliminated, and it kind of sucked when they did. Drake and Josh versus iCarly. I gotta go with the original Drake and Josh. These two, I think they're in the same universe connectively, which I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, Drake and Josh is just better, more memorable episodes. The Powerpuff Girls, I've seen so much of the Powerpuff Girls. Also, Powerpuff Girls has villains, back to what I was talking about earlier. When you got a villain, it's just better. Yeah, Mojo Jojo, him. They had an episode with, like, the Boogeyman. The Powerpuff Girls movie is freaking kick-ass. Also, the Mayor's Wife. Okay, the Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends versus Fairly Odd Parents. These two shows kind of share similarities in some ways, in that, Imaginary Friends, Fairly Odd Parents. And I think I just gotta go Odd Parents because it's more classic, right? And also, the crossovers in that show were freaking great. And the stuff with Crocker was always good too, and some of the stuff with Vicky, just the storytelling in Odd Parents was typically better than Foster's. Justice League versus Phineas and Ferb. I'm sorry for all the Phineas and Ferb lovers, but I gotta go Justice League. Justice League, especially the second season, is just... it's pretty much perfection. It's hard to beat when it comes to, especially, animation, I feel. Or fuck that, not even just animation, just storytelling in general. Justice League Season 2 especially was top tier. Justice League Season 1 is still really good too. Teen Titans versus The Last Airbender. I'm sorry for all The Last Airbenders fans, but the streak ends now because I've seen all of Teen Titans and it's freaking great. Memorable villains here too, like Control Freak, bro. Slade, obviously, Slade, Trigon, all the arcs throughout the season, they had a different arc every season. Like, Season 1 was just kind of them versus Slade, 2 was Judas Contract, 4 was Trigon, I think 3 was Hive, yeah, that's right. And 5, I don't really remember Season 5 that well. I need to give the show a rewatch, but it's so incredibly good. Raven in that show, such a good character. She had, like, all the best episodes. Total Drama Island, Drake and Josh is just, like I've been saying, it's more of a classic. It's the Treehouse episode. Megan was like the classic, like evil little sister type. It just all worked very well. I was always invested with what they were doing, whether it was at the movie theater or at school or at their house, wherever it may be. The Powerpuff Girls versus the Fairly Odd Parents. I gotta give it to the Odd Parents. I think there's just better character work in the Fairly Odd Parents. I feel so bad for Timmy in so many episodes, and I think that's what they're going for a lot of the time. Oh, here's the DC matchup. Justice League versus Teen Titans. I've been saying it. It's going to be hard to top Justice League. The storytelling in Teen Titans is really good. They do a really good job of telling really good short stories, balancing everything throughout the episodes and throughout the seasons. But Justice League, I don't know, the two... Also, I should say, I'm including Justice League Unlimited in this too, because Justice League Unlimited isn't elsewhere, so I'm just assuming that we can take it as both, because I consider Justice League Unlimited just an extension of Justice League. Therefore, it's basically the same show, but it's not, so I'm including it in both. So Justice League Unlimited especially, I mean, the whole Cadmus arc, then the Legion of Doom arc, everything that's done with Darkseid and Brainiac in the original Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, it's all incredible. And it's basically 5 seasons versus 5 seasons. I just think Justice League overall had the stronger 5 seasons. I gotta give this to Drake and Josh. I feel like I could just turn Drake and Josh on and be invested more than I could Fairly Odd Parents, disregarding outside events that have nothing to do with the show, and maybe it has something to do with people in the show, but no, let's just forget about that. And get to the finals, and Justice League wins that. So moving on to the finals, The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody versus Justice League. And I said it was a nostalgia trip, but Justice League carries so much nostalgia for me. I don't know if there's a show that I have more nostalgia for than Justice League, the original Justice League. Even like something like Batman the Animated Series, although I do think Batman the Animated Series is the best show, and I do have so much nostalgia for that show too. I watched Justice League sooner. I watched it when I was so young. It was one of the first big superhero shows I watched, and I just got really into and got really attached to all the characters, and it's a big reason why I'm probably still a DC fan today. So yeah, for that alone, it's going to win, because I mean, Batman's like one of my favorite things ever. DC is freaking awesome, and this show is a large reason why I think that. Sweet Life of Zack and Cody is incredible too, though obviously it won second in this entire thing. You would expect a DC show to win given the videos I make, so I'm sure it's no shock. So where are we at? This is the final four was the Batman, Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, Justice League, and Drake and Josh. So 2 DC shows made it to the final four, 1 made it to the finals, and it did win. Justice League did win. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I really kind of had fun doing it. I know I was a little all over the place. There's just a lot of shows to talk about, and I didn't want this video to go for an hour. It already went for probably over 30 minutes at this point, but thank you so much for watching. If you did, if you're a 2000s kid like me, let me know down in the comments below. What shows are you most attached to? How much do you agree with my options, and what shows am I so definitely wrong about? Let me know all that down in the comments below. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.
Got a blast!